Good morning and welcome to the Summit News second show. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Ethan. For our second show of the semester, we've got some interesting stories along with a little fun at the end, so stay tuned for that.
First up, we have a segment inspired by Josephine Hall's article, Does D Mean Diploma? Calee and I went around the school asking teachers and students their opinions about the perceived lowering of standards over the last decade or so. What does D mean diploma to you?
In our school, I think it's interesting that people like to focus on passing more than learning. And so I feel like a lot of times in my class, I'll find kids just, if they know they're in a good spot, or if they know they're really passing and doing just fine, they just won't show up necessarily. And so for me, it's like, that's the danger of it all, is that like realistically kids are just focused on passing and not actually getting something out of it, because graduating high school is great, but that isn't where it stops. Like,
what does D mean diploma mean to you?
It means that as long as you're getting D's and passing classes, you can graduate from high school.
And do you think that's a bad thing or a good thing?
I think that the way school is set up isn't meant for every student and every student's learning needs. And so, unfortunately, I think that D for diploma it's not necessarily a bad thing for students who are really trying their best and this method of learning isn't for them. And they're going to find success, outside of the educational system. And then for others, I do think that it maybe is a little enabling and allows them to think, oh, well, I can just get a D and still graduate. So I think it's really case by case.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's it. What does D mean diploma mean to you?
I mean, I think it's a real thing, right? We always have to acknowledge that, yes, technically you can get a D and pass and also graduate high school. However, depending on the goals you have, usually a lot of colleges are looking for at least a C. And then also just generally, I think is the way a lot of our classes are set up at Summit. If you're getting a D, does that mean you were present? How many assignments did you complete? And what did you really learn? So I would say ultimately, no, I don't agree. I'm definitely more for trying our very best and doing our best work.
That's an interesting question. Up next, Eli, Matthew, and Camden were wondering what a school resource officer does, so they decide to meet ours and find out.
All right, I'm here with Officer Pacheko in his office. And could you tell us what you do around the school?
Yeah, so as you can tell, I'm the school resource officer. Part of being a school resource officer kind of involves three main things. One is law enforcement, which includes safety, the administration of justice, all the things that a school would need in terms of if somebody's a crime victim, reporting that crime. Another one's teaching and mentorship, so we can actually connect with the students and build relationships. Teaching is actually its own section, and the mentorship is another. So that's the triad. It's law enforcement, teaching, and mentorship. We try to do all of those. But the biggest thing, the most important thing is for us is safety, right? If you guys aren't safe, you and the staff, number one, then we can't, none of us can do our jobs, you guys can't go to school. So that's number one, and then the other ones come in next. So, and those are the ones we like spending time on, is the teaching and the mentorship.
And do you do this at other schools as well, or just here?
Yeah, so the way it works right now, I'm actually the SRO Sergeant, so I run the SRO team. So when this spot gets filled with your full-time SRO, which is Dan Cockey, he'll be here in a couple weeks. This will be his primary school, but he does have other schools. So the schools that are covered under Summit's kind of area of responsibility are Cascade Middle School, Pacific Crest, High Lakes, Miller, Highland, and Westside Magnet. So quite a few schools, 6 or 7, just under the SRO for Summit. So it's not just one, it's multiple schools. But we kind of primarily base out of the high school.
It's good to know that we have an officer here. Now we have Ethan and Grant with their first of many food reviews. Let's see what they have to say about the Shamrock Shake from McDonald's.
Today we're here at McDonald's. We were planning on getting the Cardi B and Offset meal, but unfortunately that did not work out. So we're gonna taste test the Shamrock shake today. The presentation is very good. It looks very appetizing, pretty green, but let's taste it. Very minty.
Personally speaking, it is very minty, and after using a nugget, not very good. Out of 10, presentation wise, it's a 8. After nugget review, it's about a 4, but before nugget, it's about an 8.
Give it a 6-8 out of 10.
After further review, I've decided it's a 4 out of 10, not an 8.
Back to Summit we go.
Yum, looks delicious. So we'll end the show with a little prank from Ebola Studios called The Lift.
Hi, this is our segment. What we ask people to do is we ask people to give us $1 and we'll give $1 of our own. And we challenge people to try and lift up this chair only using one hand, putting the hand on the lowest part of the base and trying to lift up all of the chair legs right here. And if they successfully do it, we assumingly give them the money. But if they don't successfully do it in 4 seconds, then we take both dollars and we run away with it. If they do it. Oh my goodness! I'm so glad you didn't have $1.
I hope nobody's pride or wallet were hurt too much by that challenge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.